guys. I decided to do a video with a breakdown of because there's been a lot of talk about people not following their oaths and things like that. So I'm going to break down some fundamentals and some maybe even oaths you didn't even know existed. That is required for every one of these federal and state legislature, the executive, and the judicial branches. That I've been at this for a minute. I mean, years, 10 plus, 12 years, maybe even longer. Um, so what I do is I put together some documents of the laws, and I made videos throughout the day. I have a lot of respect for you people that go out there and make videos and have to work with these apps and uh, these computers. It's easier when Dave just puts up a Zoom and invites you just because it's already done. The hard work's done. So putting stuff together. Much respect for all those that do videos. Dave, Celeste, Truth Tornado, and others out there that put things together for the people to put out the knowledge and wisdom to teach the people as counselors in law, and to spread this information to get the people informed of what's going on out there. So what I've done is like I said, I put together um, the articles and the laws that go with a particular oath, and I also uh, built built a notice that will put an end to all of it. I don't really care whether it's the president or the dog catcher. Dave put out a massive notice the other day against the FBI, which falls under the executive, which this is going to fully affect. And we're going to be able to take each of these entities, we're going to break it down, we're going to remove them, and because they're not going to produce. And I'm going to tell you, as long as I've been in this and as long as I've FOIA'd, I've probably got over 200 FOIAs requesting this oath. I have had with Secretary of State's, their own departments, the county recorder's office, the actual courts. And what you get back is a bunch of mumbo jumbo garbage stuff with additional things to it. But now that Dave has built a great army of soldiers here in law, we have a big enough assembly of people that we can now be effective in everything that we do. So let's go ahead and get moving on this. And I'd also like to add a little note at the end of this video. I want to help out someone that's really dear to me, and I'll explain in that video at the end of this video, and maybe you can help it be gratefully appreciated. So let's go. All right, let's get right into it. This is Article 6, Clauses 1, 2, and 3 of the United States Constitution. We'll get right into it. Starts out, all debts contracted and engagements entered hereinto before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. Clause 2. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or the laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. Here's where we're heading into where I'm making this video about. The senators and representatives before mentioned and the members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers both of the United States and of the several states shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. So next that'll bring us to the very first law ever written by the first Congress. The very first law, 1 Stat 23, Statute 1, very first one ever written by Congress. Section 1. Be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit. To wit meaning in exact form. That means no additives, nothing changes in the wording. I, A.B., do solemnly swear to affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Period. The end. IAB means full legal name. No middle initials, no little nicknames like Chucky for a middle name or anything. This would be your full legal name, which would be on your driver's license and things like that. So further in this, it says, the said oath or affirmation shall be administered within 3 days after the passing of this act. Okay? So when we want to get to the important parts of this is who needs to take this and how it's informed. So in section 3 it says, and be it further enacted that the members of the several state legislatures at the next session of the said legislators respectively, and all executive and judicial officers of the several states who have been therefore chosen or appointed, or who shall be chosen or appointed, shall take this. Okay, so let's get down to here. There's all kinds of for who's going to administer it. I'm not going to go through that. You can read this yourself. I'll post it up. And the members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers of the several states who shall be chosen or appointed after the said first day of August shall, before they proceed to execute their duties of their respective offices, take the foregoing oath or affirmation, which shall be administered by the persons within the states of the law. This shall cause a record of, or that shall cause a record or certificate thereof to be made in the same manner as by the law of the state he or they shall be directed to record or certify the oath of office. Now, to clear this up, this says, and the members of the several state legislators. That means all members. And all the executive. If you don't know what the executive is, that would be your mayors, your governors, just to clarify it. And all judicial officers, that's going to take care of everybody that is a judge. Okay? That's including all your attorneys, which they say they don't need. Believe me, none of these people have this. Okay? So they're in basically they're impersonating officers right now, and they're usurping the offices of the United States that were created under this. Okay, really important one, section 4. And be it further enacted that all the officers appointed or hereafter to be appointed under the authority of the United States shall, before they act in their respective offices, take the same oath or affirmation. So they're going to take the same oath, okay? So when I'm telling you that it's all executive offices, which is explained up here, for the executive, that's including your president all the way down to which would be your dog catcher. It's all of them, okay? So I wanted to show you the law part that goes with it. So when we're talking about oaths, and I've seen today someone post up the one under the maximums. I didn't get that in my notice yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap my notice so I can bring it up and walk it through you to what I suggest we do put them on notice, and we know that if they don't produce this, what I have is a notice. If they don't produce this to you in 3 days, they shall be removed, because that's usurping the office, impersonating an officer. It's insurrection and it's treason, acting without authority. Let me move on forward. All right, guys. So what I've got here is a little notice I put together. Your normal front will be to you, and the to could be just one person. It could be many. It doesn't matter. Whoever it is that's going against your rights, you're just going to ask for this oath, and they're not going to have it. We're going to remove them. So this is a notice of affidavit to cease and desist. As you know, the normal notice of agents principle. So I start out, I state your name, one of the people as seen in the 50 state constitution, bills, and declarations of rights. Always comes sui juris in the court of record. Being trustees of the people, you must provide due care and remember your oath which binds you. So this is kind of all about the oath. So we're just going to I always come and I always make the statements and claims. I got to have a claims section. So I always use from the process of one of Dave's magnificently first notices he given of treason in his early days. You always make them take notice, and I always do it in this manner. So I started out, please take further notice that all member acting entities actively working with and or created under the 3 instituted branches of said government as a whole, which is all inherently created by the people having dominion over all government. Furthermore, the people hold all power over all and any jurisdictions. So whereas you have sworn or affirmed to agree to all the mandatory provisions within the 51 constitutions, and more importantly its bills and declarations of rights, that is binding upon you in the trust indenture contract known as the state or the United States constitutions, prior to taking employment with any of the 3 branches or created agencies or entities under the state and federal legislative, judicial, and executive instituted constitutional branches of government as the people's trustees and servants, you are required and have not executed the proper oath required to satisfy Article 6, Section 3 of the United States Constitution, to wit. Therefore, you are acting without any authority to perform any duties or to receive compensation. This is a crime, and crime vitiates everything which springs from it and is null and void. We've been working on these notices for a while, so there's a lot of this is going to be repetitive, but that's fine. So we're going to have our normal, please take notice, and then, so let it further be known that here, now, and hereafter you are knowingly and willingly usurping a office of the United States or state, impersonating an officer, actively a co-conspirator of a insurrection, maladministration, trespass, and treason. See below the fundamental principles of law. So we have stated quite a few in here. I'm not going to go through each one. If you're using this notice, you've probably read every one of these already and probably should know what all of it means. And if you don't, I'd probably just highly suggest you take some of Dave's webinars and get well acquainted with the law, and so you'll have the knowledge and wisdom to understand what you're putting in these notices. Okay, so I have start out always when I start a new subject. So now I'm going to enforce what we've come together about. Furthermore, it is my wish, order, and demand within 3 days, 72 hours, that you produce a certified copy of the record or certificate having been made by the law stated below giving lawful evidence that you have satisfied all requirements to have sworn or affirmed, to wit, the third section of the sixth article of the United States Constitution required oath, and mandates that. So I put that same oath that we went over earlier. Remember, we went to wit. That means can't have any other extra words, can't be anything. It has to be exactly to this. Remember, AB is full legal name, no pseudonames, nicknames, middle initials. Has to be what your identification is. That can be verified. Okay, so that oath, none of them are going to have it. Okay, so here we have. We're not going to go through all this again. We have the several to all the members of the several state legislatures, and remember up here we have over in the Article 6 oath it said to all executive, state and federal. So that means your president all the way down to your any officials all the way down to the dog catcher. So where I got the up above about the record being caused, it's right here. So it says by the law of the state, the oath hereby required shall be taken shall cause a record or certificate thereof to be made. So they're going to have to supply that certified. And also remember, before they proceed to execute the duties of their respective offices, take the foregoing oath or affirmation. Okay, so I'm telling you, everything has to be done before they have any authority. It's all stated in here. And so if anybody wants to say this doesn't apply to them, or it's not the law, or it's not evidence of the law, we go ahead and we put the in United States Code Stat 112. It's statutes at large. It states in here clearly that the United States statutes at large shall be legal evidence of all laws, concurred resolutions, treaties, internal agreements, and other than treaties, proclamations made by the President. The purposes or ratified amendments to the Constitution of the United States therein contained in all of the courts of the United States, the several states, and the territories and insular possessions of the United States. So it is evidence of the legal evidence of the law. Okay, and I had that put that up in here. Shall be legal evidence of law in all courts of the United States and the several states. That's us, guys. Okay, so we do it again. We please take notice that you may have taken many oaths ranging from 1 to 1,000 for other responsibilities as trustees and servants of the people. All others have no force or authority in the process and form to satisfy the oath in the third section of Article 6 of the United States Constitution, mandatory requirement to wit. And then, of course, I got this in here that someone had, that our hard-working people out there put in, that go through all these maxims. I believe probably Leanne and others. Grateful also to Alec and Melly Mel. They all work hard finding things, digging, and others in the group that I may not mention. I'm not trying to leave you out on purpose. And of course, I love everything that Truth Tornado puts out on her YouTube. Very informative. Everything's very informative and knowledgeable. Okay, so I put, please take notice that any denial or protection of the people's individual rights is maladministration, treason, and insurrection. It comes now that you are hereby bound by oath or affirmation to the state and federal constitutional trust indenture contract that is expressed clearly that the people have absolute authority. Oh, I forgot this is, I got to change that, but we're going to put and all power. This is, I had to put it in PDF to do this video. Comes now it being the people have come together peacefully and have assembled for the common good with their safety and happiness in mind, that it is our wish, order, and demand that if you cannot and do not produce the record or certificate of oath required to satisfy the Section 3 of the 6th article of the United States Constitution within 3 days, 72 hours, demanded within this notice herein, you are to immediately resign or remove yourself, and are strictly granted 90 days to return all compensation, gifts, or emoluments received received, and forfeit any and all governmental retirements from that date of initial employment. That means from the beginning at any time of service within any of the 50 states or federal government as a whole. Furthermore, immediately, now and hereafter, it is so ordered that you are dismissed and can no longer serve in any state or federal government political subdivisions as a whole. Please take further notice, and this is kind of all over, has to be in this, because what we've done is we've created we've sworn to as an affiant, and we created a new terms of and changed the contract of an existing contract that may have existed. So it has to be stated. This is an affidavit and a contract and change of terms. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under the penalty of perjury in form of sworn affidavit. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $10 million each violation of sworn protected rights secured. Of sworn protected rights secured. And in addition, $1 million each day of trespasses and acts performed without United States Constitutional Article 6, Section 3 required oath for authority. Any member official having any disputes by any public officials, private actors, agencies, or third parties who are bound by contract to the 50 state constitutions or the United States Constitution agrees to have these matters heard before an arbiter of my choice. Any man or woman denying the claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 3 days, 72 hours. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence you agree that all claims are true. Failing to respond with constitutionally granted authority, which gave you the power to disregard the people's rights mentioned within this affidavit and contract, means that you have agreed to have this affidavit used against you as evidence of treason, insurrection, maladministration. You further agree that once the 3-day period time is up, this affidavit becomes truth and law, and that all matters must be considered adjudged, and that no court has jurisdiction to rehear the matters, and that these witnesses against you shall be considered sufficient for conviction. Remedy shall be had by giving the claimant as affiant its heirs as one of the people their absolute right of life, liberty, property, and happiness as seen and written in the 50 state constitutions and United States Constitution. It is my wish, demand, and order that all controversy be remedied and made whole immediately for affiant. I give to you this notice and contract, and demands in peace and the love of Christ that you may provide due care to those who have all political power of the people. So then we also use our certificate here to swear to the statements above, and then we also get our witness, our jurat, which puts the nail in the coffin when you're done. So let me go ahead and switch back to a visual camera here. Stop this video. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and it could have been more in depth, but I think we all get the basic function of what's going on. So like I promised at the end of the video, one of our great counselors, David Jose, does things for a lot of people all over the world. He has and I do too. We have a brother in Christ that needs a plane ticket from a far destination to somewhere safe, to where his next destination is, and he's coming out of Africa. And Dave has been putting money towards this man's ticket out of his own pocket. And what I was wanting to do was to ask each one of you that can and is willing to donate to this cause. Anything, $1, $5. It's a very expensive ticket, and when we hit that amount, I'll let everybody know that it's done collected. And I've put in shared donations for this ticket for this uh, man of God in the Church of Christ who is a brother. And I just want to do Dave a favor. He does so much for everybody, and he's giving to so many people, buying things. A lot of things people don't know. Uh, Dave gives a lot. He gives a lot. He gives up a lot of his time. He gives up a lot of his money to help others. He's not a greedy man. He's not a materialistic man, and I take it to heart. I really want to help, and I'd like to ask each and every one of you that can help that you send to a Cash App to help donate for this man's ticket, and then possibly we get him a place to stay and things till he gets settled in when he gets to his final destination from Africa. Um, the goal is to reach it's 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 in the area of about $3,000. Dave's already put in over a quarter of that, or actually probably 2/3 of that already himself. Every other day he's giving and putting uh, into this fund to get this man this ticket that is needed. So I'd ask that you donate to the Cash App. It is all lowercase. Son of God, SONGOD 69. And as I said, when we reach that goal, we will inform everybody that we've reached the goal that we want to meet. And if we do end up going a little over, Dave will distribute that to help out in other areas for this man or other causes. But the main thing is that we help Dave get this ticket if you can help. I mean, from $1 to whatever you can afford. It's a very expensive ticket. And I appreciate everything, and I appreciate you listening to me today. And God bless everybody. I will post up a card with that Cash App again to remind you. Thank you.